Hello! Coming on today for my final podcast episode of 2020. It's starting in December. I'll be sharing some of my favorite episodes from season 2 as reruns with some updates on those people that I'm going to be sharing. So do stay tuned because there will still be content coming in with a little bit of new content, but today is the last new episode. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about assertiveness and owning your power. So years ago, first discovered a book called How to Be an Adult in Relationships, Five Keys to Mindful Loving. And that was from David Richo. And that book was really influential because it looked at the different aspects of loving relationships. And I also look at how you can apply those to self-love and self-empathy. So that was really helpful for me. But he also had a book, and it was called How to Be an Adult. And it's a really, really good book, but it's really hard to recommend to people because if you hand them a book that says how to be an adult, they might get offended. But it's a really good book. It's super short, it's super actionable, it's really appealed to me in terms of looking at things like managing anger and all of that sort of stuff. So it's really about owning your life and taking ownership of things. And my favorite chapter in that book is on assertiveness. And one of the things that I loved is that he specifically said that assertiveness is owning your power. And the reason I love that so much is because it really clarifies between when you look at assertiveness versus being aggressive or passive, it really helps to put that into context. So when we're looking at my Ignite Your Power program, for example, it's all about taking ownership of your power and your intensity and harnessing that in a positive direction. So all of my work is around harnessing your intensity in a positive way. So, owning your power means taking ownership of what you want and communicating that in a way that conveys what you need without taking power away from others. So, the way it breaks down then is that while assertiveness is owning your power, passivity is giving your power away. So, when we just go along with whatever other people want, regardless of what we want, and we are not taking ownership of what it is that we want, that would be considered passivity. And aggressiveness is changing power to control. So when somebody is trying to control other people, that is what would be considered aggressive. And one of the things that I thought was especially interesting is that, according to David Richo, a form of aggressiveness can be trying to save people. And that's something that I never really thought of. But the reason that trying to save people can be seen as an aggressive act is that when we try to save people, we're trying to control them. And so that can actually be considered aggressive because we're trying to save them in a way that is trying to control them. So, of course, helping people and coming to mutual agreement and helping mutually work on your needs together, that is assertiveness. But when you're trying to actually rescue someone, that can be considered aggressive, according to Rico. So I really thought that was interesting because I think a lot of us who tend to be more on the people pleasing side, the one we may think, oh, we're never aggressive. But that's one thing that we sometimes can find ourselves slipping into is that trying to rescue people in a way that puts us in the ones in control. So I thought that was really interesting. And so, the biggest thing for me when looking at assertiveness and how to be more assertive has been using the STAR process that I talk about more in my Ignite Your Power program, which is just stop, think, act, request. And I started using that with elementary school kids actually at first to help teach self-regulation, and I realized that it's a great tool for adults as well. And I've implemented a lot of aspects of nonviolent communication into the way I use the STAR process. So when you stop, you have to think about what are your observations objectively, what's going on, and then thinking about what are your thoughts around the issue, what are your feelings around the issue, what are the things that are influencing how you're reacting, and then think about what possible solutions might work for the problem. And so when we're using this, I think it's a great tool for self-exploration too, but when we're using this to assertively speak about our own needs, it's really helpful to understand what our needs are and what the other person's needs are, and to understand that we may have an idea of a solution that we think is the right solution, but it's not necessarily going to work for everyone involved. And so we have to be really open to different solutions and understand that there is never just one solution for a problem. There's always multiple solutions for solving a problem or meeting a need. There's a ton of strategies to meet any given need. So if we can understand the needs behind whatever it is that's going on, then we can come up with a mutually agreeable solution. And that is the way that we can take ownership of our own power in a way that doesn't take power from others. So I am wrapping up my Ignite Your Power program for this year, and I have one more lesson on getting support in December. And then as we move forward, we'll have all of those lessons in the Embracing Intensity community along with the workbooks. You can buy the workbooks individually on my website at auroraremember.com/store. Or you can access all of them in the Embracing Intensity community by joining the community, as well as all of the recordings and all of the past recordings of guest calls and future recordings of guest calls as I'm lining them up for 2021. So you can join the community or find them in the store. And this week, I decided to make all of the books, all of the workbooks at 50% off as a holiday special. They're PDF printable workbooks, so they're not a physical copy, but you can get all of them currently at 50% off on my store. And also there's a big sale on Threadless for almost everything in the store, including $12 t-shirts. And that sale, I think, ends on the 7th, I believe. It'll be on my website. And then there's also a coupon code for the pendants, specifically the bright, vivid colored pendants. And there's a coupon code there that's good for a couple days. I think it ends on the 2nd. So check out my store, auroraremember.com/store, and all the sale information will be on there, and you can find stuff. It might be a great way to get your Christmas list for other people. I got a lot of stuff from the Threadless store last year and was able to find something unique for each person, so it was pretty fun. Have a great week. Have a great holiday. And I guess outside of my intros for the rerun episodes, I will see you in 2021. Have a great holiday. Bye bye.